All right, and we are back. My name is Mirani. I'm going to be your host for the next few hours. Up next, we have Dayoman. I hope I'm saying that correctly, doing
Oh yeah.
Spyro the Dragon. Before we get into this, we do have a couple of donations to read. Wow, let me mute that a little bit in my ears, a little bit loud. So thank you, Shadows Take Fall, for that $24 donation saying GG's Gamer. We also have a $30 donation from Mangort saying donating to pay for all my deaths earlier. Thank you so much for the donation. You know what? Thank you a little bit for those deaths. And then we have a $3 donation from Tyrone Desperado. Thank you so much, everybody, for those wonderful donations. Just make sure that you check out all those incentives. Any bid wars we got going on, definitely a lot of cool stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and head it on over to you, Diaman, and good luck. Have fun.
Hey, thank you so much. So yeah, guys, welcome. This is Spyro the Dragon, and we are going to get started. You guys ready for the countdown? I'll give you from 3, all right? Here we go. Hype up. World record, maybe. 3, 2, 1, go. Hype up, hype up, hype up. So welcome, guys. This is Spyro the Dragon for PlayStation 1. Not to be confused with Reignited Trilogy, which is a reboot of this game that came out in 2018. Nowadays, when you look up Spyro 1 or Spyro 2 or Spyro 3, you'll see a lot of Reignited Trilogy content. So that's the remake of this game. But what I'm playing is the OG, the old school, the classic, the one that everyone remembers from their childhood, Spyro 1. And yeah, I've been speedrunning this. A little bit about me. My name's Dayoman, and I've been speedrunning this game ever since about 2013. Basically, I've spent my whole life playing the 120% category of this game, and I've only recently learned this category that you're seeing today, which is called any percent. The thing about any percent is that there's a trick at the very end that's very RNG based. And so basically, if I have a really good run, it could all just go to nothing at the end. So I'm really, really hoping that this trick goes well. But no matter what happens, we're going to get through this run. We're going to have a good time. And yeah, so I've been speedrunning this game for about 7 years. This is definitely my favorite in the trilogy. Spyro 2 and 3 also have very vibrant speedrunning communities. So if you're interested in either of those games, I highly recommend checking out their Twitch directory. You can even just look up the game on Twitch and follow that. There you'll see speedrunners for all the original games, as well as other PlayStation classics like Crash Bandicoot, Ratchet & Clank, and Jak and Dax. United PlayStation speedrunning community. And also, if you're interested by these types of runs, I highly recommend getting into it, following some of the streams or some of the games, and seeing what's out there, because there's a lot of us out here grinding these really classic kind of late 90s, early 2000s era platformers. And yeah, this is one of them. So you'll notice what I'm doing to get into the game here. You'll notice what I'm doing is I'm actually grabbing a lot of gems alongside dragons right now. The reason why I'm doing that is because in order to progress to the next homeworld, you have to meet certain requirements for the balloonist, or else he won't let you through. So the total requirements that we need by the end of the game are 50 dragons, 5 dragon eggs. Those are like the little blue thief guys that go like, nah, 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 nah. You know what I'm talking about. Those guys definitely gave you trouble as a kid if you've ever played this game before. You have to get 5 of those guys, and then the biggest hurdle of the run that really determines a lot of the routing is we have to get 6,000 gems. So by the time we leave Dreamweavers and go to the final homeworld, we need those 6,000 gems, and ideally, we route out our run in such a way that we reach that very final balloonist that asks for all those gems right with 6,000 gems, with ideal routing. So if you ever see me going out of my way for gems or for different collectibles like that, that's basically the reasoning, is so that I can move on, or maybe that I'm trying to catch up specifically to my gem count, more so than the dragons or thief eggs. Try to hit an early flame on that fan chest right there and miss. I also missed one of those boxes, and so in this category it becomes kind of relevant to know, well, what kind of gem was in that box? Was it a 5 gem, a 10 gem? Like each of the different colors is a different value of gems. So basically, I'm trying to keep up with what's happening, but what I can do is I actually keep a little log. This is super nerdy, but I keep like a little sheet of paper right here that I can use to reference at the end of every level. It shows your total gem count when you exit the level. You'll see this right now. It shows how many gems you collect in the level, as well as your total count. So I could reference right here. I see I'm supposed to have, actually it doesn't say on this list because it's so early in the game. I have it for the later game levels because that's where it's more relevant. Now I'm trying to get a cool wall glide right here, barely recovering it. doing the Chris LBC strat going around the side. You can even get a cool little roll that saves like half a second right there. So really cool little movement. First real out of bounds of the run. It's actually, okay, look, this is super impressive about Spyro is that this original game has almost very few out of bounds in this entire game. And as far as glitches go, you're gonna see some interesting sort of bounces and like squeezing between enemies to get it like launched up in the air. We call those proxies, but for the most part, there's not really a whole lot of like actual real glitches in this game where we're really breaking it open. You know, we still have to meet these balloonist requirements. As you can see, I just talked to the first balloonist of the run right there, and we have about 4 more of them to go before we reach the final homeworld to attempt that really hard trick I was telling you guys about, rat proxy it's called. Now a little interesting history and lore to this category is that a guy named Chris LBC actually had the record in this category for a couple years, uncontested by anyone else. And when I started learning this category, I decided to implement rat proxy, which was a trick found all the way back in 2013, 2014, back when I started running this game all those years ago. This trick was found back then, but wasn't implemented into runs until I started doing it about half a year to a year ago. So it's a really interesting kind of story of like the game got pushed really far with the strats they had then. Then we started incorporating a few more like more difficult strats, and it the bar becomes set lower, but the run becomes a lot harder as a result. But the cool thing about speedrunning this game, even if you're not running it at the high level, I think it's a really fun speed game no matter what level you're at. Because even if you opt not to do any tricks or proxies or anything like that, you can literally just go through the levels like pretty normally, and like I said, in a glitchless sort of way, and still come up with your own sort of like gem route and a different sort of a way to get through the game in a speedrunning sense. So you'll see a lot of like mid-level players who have been playing for a while who kind of come up with their own strats, their own routes. And so I think there's a lot of creative freedom there as a speedrunner. Now that jump was the first instance of a really necessary, what we call a charge glide, all right? Little movement text that I just want to talk about real quick, and I know this is kind of nerdy, but basically there's charge gliding and flame charging. So when you jump in the air, in order to maximize your glide, you have to charge glide in order to get the most distance and height out of a jump, which means you charge and then glide in the air. You barely see it because I only charge for like a second. And it's the same thing with flame charging. You have to flame and then immediately charge, which tricks the game into making gems home in for you. But basically, we're up here in Cliff Town right now. We're about to do another cool proxy coming up here in a minute. And then after that, we should have some time for donations. So let's see if I can get this proxy coming up here. Let's take a look. It's coming up right here. I'm going to try to get squeezed between the mama and the wall right here. And not quite. So you could see I was trying to kind of squeeze in that corner right there. And what would happen ideally, if I'd have pushed her a little bit harder into the corner, is I would get launched up into the air and be able to take a different route through the level as a result. But for now, we're just going to finish up the rest of the level normally. And if there's any donations, feel free to chime them on in at this point.
All right, no donations yet, but I do want to talk a little bit about what's going on. What exactly is this F4? Does anybody know? Well, you know what? I'm going to let you know. We are raising funds for Child's Play, a game industry charity dedicated to improving the lives of children with toys and games in their network of over 185 hospitals worldwide. And also another quick reminder that the reason we're doing this is, you know what? We are celebrating Carter Freak's birthday. So if you happen to see them in chat, make sure you wish them a wonderful birthday. And yeah, back to you.
Dude, happy birthday, Carter. I actually had no idea that it was your birthday, dude. Happy birthday, Carter, you legend. Thanks for putting on such an amazing event and marathon. It's a very selfless birthday present that you give to the world in that way. So, yeah, like we're just getting to the end of Cliff Town right now. This level, again, I kind of messed up the route because I didn't get that proxy in the beginning. So all this movement you see here, I could be exited of the level and like kept going because I would have collected more gems more quickly, allowing me to leave the level more early. So you could see how the route sort of evolves with the run and how I now have to catch up on a few gems and change my route in later levels to adjust for that. Really fluid routing in this run in particular. And for the other main categories of this game, 120%, as well as Vortex, which is a run that's gotten recently very popular. There's less in terms of like creative routing in those sorts of runs, and more just raw execution. So this category kind of like stands alone in that sort of way where it really gives you the freedom of, it gives you a little bit more freedom of expression as a player and as a runner to recover in a way. But so anyways, we're just getting through Dr. Shemp right now. Unfortunately, we're not going to be doing the actual fight in this level. This is one of my favorite bosses in the whole game, and basically he's a giant garbanzo bean with cool sunglasses and size 300s metal Gucci sandals. He's actually a play a pimp, honestly. If I'm being completely honest, he's actually dope. So unfortunately, we couldn't do his fight right there. But in 120, we'd go all the way through him and try to get some quick cycles on him. All right, so coming up here is the last tough trick of Peacekeepers. Take a look at this. Can I make that? Oh! Barely getting up to that cliff right there. And, you know, maybe it looks easy when I do it, but trust me, it takes many hundreds and hundreds of failed attempts at glides like that to even come close with some of them. And you have to use those sort of mechanics that I was mentioning earlier, like charge gliding, and you have to really extend the length of the ledge by charging off and then just barely walking at the last possible moment, barely jumping and holding X at the last possible moment. There's a lot of like little nuanced things to the execution about very simple, what I would consider very simple platforming. Now here we're at one of the flight levels right here. This is Night Flight. This is the first of 4 flight levels that we're going to be doing in this category. We skipped the one in the first world, but basically each of these flight levels, they give you somewhere between 300 and 400 gems each. And that's really useful because when you consider the amount of gems that we get per second throughout this run, these flight levels end up giving you at least 3 gems per second, which is around where we want to be for the routing, to have optimal routing of this category. But yeah, that's enough about like the sort of like nerdy kind of, you know, nuanced mechanic stuff of this game. I do want to mention a little bit more about some of the other categories and some of the interesting players that are kind of emerging as of lately with this game. And one of the things I really want to mention is, I mentioned this earlier, is a category called Vortex %, or we just call it Vortex for short. What you have to do in that category is actually enter a cheat code so that you can get to all of the homeworlds without these gem or balloon or you know what I mean, these balloonist requirements. You don't have to get dragons in that category. You don't have to get gems, and you don't have to get the eggs because you do that cheat code. But what you do have to do is go through every return home portal at the end of the levels that have them. So what it does is it creates this like crazy, like more movement-based category. You know, if you hear me talking about all this gem stuff and routing and stuff like that, and you're thinking, man, I don't want to keep track of gems or anything like that. Well, guess what? There's a category for you, and it is called Vortex, and you should definitely check it out. This game is very easy to access nowadays on emulator, as well as original copies as well. In fact, I'm going to be looking into getting a PS2 for one of the members of the community who's overseas, because as it turns out, NTSC is the fastest platform for this game, and even an NTSC emulator does lag behind with its load times. See, each time I grab one of these dragons, it takes a moment for it to load before it explodes, and so that multiplied over 50 dragons, 80 dragons throughout the run can definitely add up. But again, in a category like Vortex, it has less of a profound effect because you're not collecting any of those dragons. So yeah, so we're just getting through Ice Cavern right now. Quick shout outs to some of the real like legends of this game that have came before me, like Saboom, Chris LBC, who I mentioned earlier, had a record in this category previously. Saboom, also a world record holder in 120%, long-time Sprash player. We call him Sprash, like Crash and Spyro player. And as well as like Nova Spell, who's the world record holder for Vortex right now. She's a legend. A lot of these people still stream, especially Nova streams pretty consistently, as well as a ton of other Vortex players right now. So that's why I say if you're interested in these games, or if you remember them from your childhood, it's always worth it to look up these games in the Twitch directory. At least follow the game, and then you'll start to pick up on who's streaming it as time goes on. That's generally, in general with speedrunning, I think that's actually a cool thing you can do, is you can look up like a lot of these old games from like your childhood or something like that. Like, oh, I want to look at, you know, Glover, you know, let me look that game up on the Twitch directory, and then one day you'll click on Glover and there's like your new favorite streamer right there you'll find sometimes. So I definitely recommend that strategy, especially if you're interested in speedrunning. So exiting that level at that point, because all the rest of even though it looked like there were more gems there, the gems that were there were low value. They were like greens and reds, which only cost 2 and 1 respectively. So the amount of time it takes to grab those gems is not worth exiting the level right at that point. Now we're going to be moving on to the third homeworld, Magic Crafter. This is my personal favorite homeworld coming up right here. It just has such a cool like mystique, nice like pastel color palette. I love the way the enemies work in this part of the game because they can like lift platforms and stuff magically. And so those sorts of things can get in your way in the coming levels here. So we're going to be a lot more dependent on our cycles. Also, you're seeing more of these little blue thief guys. Now, in the speed run, we get them as like just quick kills. But man, if you were playing this game casually, those guys are going to give you the runaround, especially in Reignited. Talking about that, that 2018 remaster. The thieves in Reignited, if you could believe it, are probably even tougher than the original. Yeah, those guys are the worst. And now heading over to Alpine Ridge, and we're gonna hopefully be able to catch all of the enemy cycles as well as like little stair and platform cycles in this level, while grabbing like blues and yellows and trying not to miss those types of gems, right? But yeah, man. Spyro is definitely like, to me, it's like a childhood classic, and it's really cool to me having spent so much time speedrunning it and streaming it, because I feel like really clued into this whole like Spyro fandom, like sort of community that has sort of been evolving over the years on the internet through like different forums, and like there's like a Spyro, you know, fan Reddit, and there's, dude, all over Twitter, there's a bunch of crazy fan art out there that's really good. So it's really cool to be kind of like, I guess, integrated into that sort of community through speedrunning. Speedrunning is just, to me, is like just a small facet of like the greater Spyro and Crash and early PlayStation sort of fandom that a lot of us, I know myself, that we remember from our childhoods, you know? And it's kind of sad, you know, because like some of these games, like Spyro, like nowadays, Spyro as a franchise is like something completely different than it was back in like 2000, you know, 2001, right? These big yellow guys. Fun fact about these big yellow enemies right here is that sometimes they'll just roar at you. Like if you just wait right here and just look at them, they'll roar at you, but sometimes they'll smack you. And so you never know like what the yellow guy's gonna do. Sometimes they'll do like a giant body slam and just crush you. So they kind of trick you into thinking they're non-violent when they actually are. Very tricky AI programming from them. Now, I know you're thinking, what about the wall? We go right through the wall. For some reason, there's no collision on that part of the wall.
I mean, walls are just a myth, right?
Walls are just a suggestion, dude. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Do you have a real quick moment for a dono?
Yes, please.
All right. Thank you so much to Carjacker for that $25 donation, saying dollar per death. Thank you so much for that donation. Oh. And you know what? We're definitely going to be holding you to that.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely going to be a few deaths in this run, especially as we get to the very end. If I mess up the trick at the end, I'm just going to be constantly death abusing. So you might have to cough up a few deaths worth of dollars. You better watch out. Better put your money where your mouth is. But hey, we appreciate you being here either way. This little section right here is so tight. You'll notice that I'm making those gems home in. That's referencing that technique I was mentioning earlier called flame charging, where you flame really close to an enemy, but then charge it really quickly with a very precise timing and spacing in order to make the gem home in. The gem will not home in if you don't do that really tight charge after the flame. Very cool stuff. But yeah, man, it's been, I gotta say, over the past like 7 years of streaming this game, it's been a really interesting sort of journey, especially now like on YouTube and stuff. It's like I'm starting to explore more like kind of like music videos and like silly sort of different like Spyro related content. I feel like with a game like this, it just lends itself really nicely to not just being so hardcore about the speed running. It's not like this little niche, but it's like this greater PlayStation appreciation sort of. People sort of our age, like, you know, 20s to 30s, really remember these games. And so it's really cool to have people come into my chat like pretty much every day that are like, dude, I remember this game, or oh, I love this level, or this level's music is awesome. And I think a lot of speedrunners probably experience something like that with their games, but it's especially profound with Spyro. Now, you'll see I just bonked right there. I wanted to keep that supercharge going, but unfortunately, we do have to take the L on that one, but I think it should allow us to get a few extra gems. Check out this cool little backup right here. Barely get enough supercharge in order to get up this hill without it running out.
All right, do you have time for another quick demo?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Thank you so much, and I love this name, by the way. Sandwich Awesome, man.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that $50 donation. No, but that's all right. We feel the love. Thank you so much. And I did see somebody ask where they can donate in chat, and you can do !D to go ahead and get that donation link. We also have !P for all of those wonderful incentives and the wonderful prizes that we have going on. So definitely take a look at everything, and !S to get that schedule.
Yeah, Sandwich is the homie. Fun fact, like fun lore about Sandwich is me and her actually did a Spyro Dance Dance Revolution race through the entire game. At least through the first homeworld we raced, where instead of using a controller, we used a DDR pad. And in fact, I've been very dedicated about getting the Dance Dance Revolution pad flight level individual level IL world records, and I highly encourage anybody who's listening to this right now, if you have one of those old PlayStation DDR pads or even a USB one, they're like 20 bucks on Amazon, you could join in on the world record race for the flight level ILs. Is it frustrating? Yes. Is it maddening? Yes. Does it make me want to pull my hair out? Definitely, absolutely, but it's a really fun challenge, and it's really cool to be kind of exploring these fun little sorts of meme categories with people and having fun with speedrunning, you know. I'll tell you this, like, I've been running this game for, like I said, so many years now, and I've been on this like hardcore world record grind for most of it. And now that I have like the any% and 120% records in this game, not to say that I'm done speedrunning, those records could definitely be a lot better, but you know, it's cool to be able to branch out and like explore like little fun things like that. Because at the end of the day, a game like this, it's like, you gotta have fun with it, you know? How am I gonna sit here and get mad at this cute little dragon with all these like silly enemies and stuff? But it happens, man. Even with like the cutest of games, it's like speedrunners will lose their minds. It's actually ridiculous, so. It's nice to kind of counterbalance into the fun side of life, you know? Fun fact about that dragon that I rescued right there, he actually, if you listen to his cutscene, I'm like mashing X through all these cutscenes, right, to skip them, but if you listen to his cutscene, he actually tells you about the secret stones in the Artisan's Homeworld, the first homeworld. And after touching that dragon and going back to the Artisan's Homeworld, if you haven't done the secret already, the stones will make noise when you step on them. It's 5 chromatic notes, so we were playing like little songs on it, going like doo 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 doo, you know. So anyway, nerdy stuff. So yeah, we're at the second of 4 flight levels in this run right now, and cool little strat at the start where you turn around to hit the planes right there. But besides that, pretty slow pace. We just follow the basic route through the level right now. So if there's any more donations or anything, feel free to read them out at this time.
All right, no more donations just yet, but I just want to give a shout out to our wonderful chat. We have already raised $555 out of our original $1,000 goal. And guess what? We're only in the first day. We still have 2 more awesome days coming up. Thank you for everybody who has been hanging out, who has donated, and, you know, just made this wonderful marathon just that much more wonderful and just amazing. Thank you to everybody who is helping to make sure that, you know what, we raise a little bit of money for some really good causes.
That's amazing. And to everyone who's in my stream right now, please type !marathon and show some love for this wonderful charity that they're raising money for right now. And feel free to hop into the chat and just show some love. We really appreciate everyone who's watching and everyone who's supporting. Yeah, you guys are the homies. I love you. It's not a Spyro stream unless there's cute vibes in the chat, man. Unless there's love to be spread around. I just want you guys to know I love you. You know, that actually brings up a really funny thing. I actually was on the couch for Games Done Quick. I'm sure many of you guys are familiar. It's a really big speedrunning event that I'm actually going to be playing in for the first time this July. This Summer Games Done Quick is going to be my first one that I'm actually doing a run for. But in previous years, I've been on the couch doing commentary for players like Chris LBC, who I mentioned earlier. And when we, after that run was done, I remember we went up to the hotel room and decided to watch the run back on like the computer and like kind of look at the chat and see what the vibe was. And we were thinking like, oh man, everyone's gonna be like talking massive smack and like criticizing and all this. And then we go in and Everyone's just like, cute chat, like, I love you guys, I remember this game, you know? So it's like, man, the Spyro fans are truly the most wholesome, and I love you guys. You guys have kind of turned me into a, even though I'm an angry gamer at heart, you know, you guys have brought out my soft side, you know? So thank you. All right, and with that, we are coming to the end of Magic Crafters. This is the third homeworld. We only have 2 full homeworlds left, and then the final boss homeworld. So that balloonist right there, that balloonist, Tucko, is actually very interesting because in the Vortex run, you're supposed to approach him without enough eggs, and then he gives you a choice of levels that you can go to. So you want to get the right choice RNG from Tucko in order to have an optimal Vortex run. Very interesting example of RNG. We'll see another interesting example of RNG near the end of this run with that trick called Rat Proxy that I mentioned earlier. I'm not going to explain too much of it yet until we get there, but rest assured, it's a tough trick. I may or may not get it, and so hype up and pray for me, please. Alrighty, and just heading to one of the final flight levels right now, the second to last one. This one's going to be called Wild Flight. And actually, dare I say, this is probably the hardest flight level because we have to do an interesting flop turnaround strat in order to get the optimal line on the second half. But here we go down here, charging in. Very nice. Coming up here, this is like a real notable turning point in the game's difficulty because once you get to this homeworld and beyond, the enemies become a lot more punishing, and I mean a lot more punishing. If you don't perfectly flame charge some of the enemies in this next level coming up, you are going to take a lot of damage, and you will be having to, you know, spend the $1 every death, like that one guy said. So that's how it goes, right? Whoa.
All right, I have a couple more donations that just rolled in, if you have a little bit of time.
Please.
All right. Thank you so much to Stupid Puff Sheep, another wonderful name that we have there for that $10 donation. We also have CF Game Breaker with that $20 donation. Thank you so much for that. And then lastly, we have a $10 donation from Barfgo saying, "Cute chat, yeah." Thank you so much, everybody, for those wonderful donations. Y'all are just making this event greater and greater. And you know what? We're at 595. We're so close to that 600 chat. Can we do it? I'm pretty
We can do it, guys. We can do it.
Let's hit that 600, and you know what? Only 400 more to go until 1,000.
And it's only day 1 right now, right? Isn't there another day of this marathon?
There's 2 more days, so it also goes Saturday and Sunday. So
guys, we can easily crush that.
Knock out that goal.
Yeah, I'm saying 2,000 personally. That's my personal prediction, at least.
You know what? You say 2,000. I'm going to, because I believe in chat. I believe in them so much. I'm going to say we're going to hit 3.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I believe it. I do. You know what? I did a, you know what's so funny about this charity is, I did a charity stream a few months back that was just like this. It raised money for a charity that also got video games in the hands of hospitalized children who needed help. And I remember it was just a 12-hour stream I did. I was like, you know, hey, maybe we'll get like $500 maybe if we're lucky. That would be a success to me, you know? And like you said, we ended up raising, I kid you not, exactly on the dot 3,000. So if you guys are
surprised.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, ever since I've been in the speedrunning community, not a speedrunner myself, I have met some of the kindest, most generous people, and let me tell you, chat, you guys are so awesome and you have such huge hearts, and we definitely just appreciate everything that you're doing and all the help that you're giving.
Yeah, we love you guys. So guys, I am getting through one of the toughest levels right now. You'll notice I did have a few movement flubs kind of getting through this area a little bit, but this is where it gets really tough. I have to get super close to these hogs in order to get the flame charge on them. Let's see if we can hit them. Notice how some of these gems are sort of, yeah, I missed that blue, but yeah, I got that flame charge and got that one. Very nice gems right there. That is not easy to do. Again, you gotta flame those hogs right as they are up in your face, going at like 60 miles per hour. Flame them right at that spacing and charge immediately after. It takes a lot of confidence in your execution and indeed kind of like years of sort of honing your gameplay to get to a really comfortable level with that sort of execution. There's gonna be another interesting bit of movement at the top of this tree stump right here. We'll see if I can get what we call the magic stair strat here. So first we want to flame these, turn that one off to the side in order to optimally hit that. Then, okay, the double charge jump, that's the magic stair, and boom! There's barely enough room on that little pole that I jumped off right there. Literally one polygon that you can jump off of, so you have to be very precise with that landing. And now, we're actually at the hardest part of the level. This is the island where they put like at least twice, they have twice as many enemies as they need here, basically. So let's see if we can not get hit and keep our green sparks. Beautiful. That was just a beautiful island right there. Beautiful, beautiful island. Hey guys, thanks for the subs in my stream. I appreciate you guys. Don't forget to type !marathon in my chat to head over to the stream that's restreaming this and donate to their charity and show some love and support. But I appreciate anything that you guys give. So now we're going to treetops. And again, see that yellow gem? Gem values are starting to get a little bit more crucial here. So I'm going to check my gem count here. My total is at 4315. Coming out of Misty Bog, we want 4310. So that means we're doing good on our gem count. At this point in the game, that's very crucial, and that will affect the way our routes are sort of optimized for these next couple levels here. For example, that green that I just missed, it's not a big deal. You know, I'm over gemmed, right? But if you're under gemmed, you really want to be like stretching for those.
All right, I got another donation if we have another.
Go for it.
So. All right, we got a $10 donation from Carjacker again, saying the dollar death was from my run before this. It used to play my favorite childhood game. Thank you so much, Carjacker, for that $10 donation. And yeah, we kind of misunderstood what you were saying there. But you know what? You're doing awesome. Thank you.
He says the deal is off.
Deal is off? Well, I mean, technically it was on. They just completed the deal.
Yeah, there you go. So you may have noticed I was trying to bash my head through this like little spike wall here. There's a strat that I kid you not was found a week ago by not even a speedrunner of this game, just an appreciative casual player on Twitter. And yeah, you can actually you can literally go through those spikes, but I happened to fail that back up a few times. So the good news is that you can reach that island that I was at earlier without having to do a bunch of squiggly turns through the level like I think you're casually supposed to. It's kind of ambiguous what the casually intended strats are in this level. There's a lot of supercharging, and I think the idea is that you like jump around to a bunch of different platforms to reach the different areas. But because we can actually abuse the supercharge speed to give us more than what I think the developers intended, like take a look right here. I'm gonna do a little charge jump onto the top of the ramp, and we're gonna do a little bump here, and that gets us up to the upper level without having to do a million circles through the whole level. So really cool optimization. And definitely tough if you're new to the game. So another really great example of how like nuance, just like little nuanced mechanics, just getting that little extra bit of speed from that charge jump is enough to make all the difference in like a huge skip like that. All right, going to Metalhead. Dude, this next level is actually awesome because this is the only example of a level where getting squeezed between an enemy and a wall actually results in a wall clip out of bounds. So we're gonna see if I can get that. That's right at the beginning here. I'm liking that. Yes. Camera gets stuck on the wall, but we managed to hit all those boxes. Very hype. Hype in the chat. Frankerzy, hype. Gotta grab this key here. Again, it would seem like we're going a lot out of the way here, but it's all for the gems, and you have to consider the gems per second that I'm grabbing. Especially that key. That key alone makes that entire section worth it, because the amount of gems you get from the key chest coming up later in the level is unavoidable. There's an interesting meme category of this game called Chargeless, which literally me and three other people have ever ran. And even on Chargeless, where you cannot like fight the boss here normally, it takes like 5+ minutes, you still need to grab that key and make it happen because it's just that worth it. At this point in the game, we're getting a lot more value from the gems, so we are kind of locked into certain routes in that way, but we can go out of our way for additional gems. So that's kind of where the creative routing aspect of it comes from. And you'll especially see that coming out of this level if I decide to go for extra gems at the beginning of the Dreamweaver's homeworld, which is coming up after this. Oh, give me that gold. And here comes that key chest. But yeah, just one more quick shout out to the Spyro speedrunning Discord as well as the speedrun.com leaderboard. Please feel free to check those out as well as any other Spyro runs that you're interested in. I would say it's a very very vibrant community of players, and a lot of us are here to help. So if anyone's curious about getting into speedrunning this game, or getting their hands on an emulator, or just like what they need to do in order to submit runs, it's a very accessible game. And I think this is a speed run for all skill levels, and that's part of the reason why I love it so much as a speed game. It has so much to give at a high level, a lot of nuance, but there's also a lot of entertainment value in that sort of nostalgic, sort of fun, early 2000s sort of game appreciation at a more casual level as well. But yeah, just finishing up Metalhead, or pardon me, the Beastmaker's homeworld here, and then we are going to get out of here. Can I get the quick hit? Oh! You can see that guy almost activated his little floor right there, barely enough time to grab him. And we should be good here. Oh my god, if I can get up this. So yeah, any donations or anything like that, now would be a great time during the transition here.
All right, we don't have any of them coming in just yet, but you know what, chat, you were doing a wonderful job at this. We have hit $605 out of 1,000 for our goal. I want to just say thank you once again to the awesome chat here all day. And yeah, I'm so excited for the next 2 days. I really think that, you know what, we can definitely take it a lot further. But for everybody who has donated, thank you. And if you can't donate, never feel bad about it. We can always do what we can do. But you just being here and supporting the charity that way, you know what, that means the world to us too. So thank you for everybody.
Feels great to come together for a good cause. A lot of times when it comes to playing video games and streaming on Twitch and stuff, it could feel very self-fulfilling. So to do something for a greater good, like a charity, is something that adds a lot of value, I think, to a stream and to speedrunning and to just the whole hobby. And for me, it's like speedrunning has definitely become like a part of my life and a lot of my identity and who I am. So having a greater purpose there really means a lot. And you guys are the ones that give us that greater purpose. The final flight level of the game, guys. Is it sad? Not really. These flight levels are frankly a little boring. But this one is kind of interesting because the further you are ahead of it, then the faster the train cycles are. So if I do this ending part correctly, then I should be able to get an interesting animation skip at the end where I actually bonk Spyro's head against a bridge. Hopefully not causing a concussion, but definitely causing a 4-second time save. We make sacrifices for the time save. Can we get it? Nice. You can see Spyro was about to swoop up and do an unskippable animation, but that bridge got right in the way. Just barely grazing it was enough. Now looking at the gem count, 640, that's exactly what I want to see right here. That means that we can take an extra difficult route, or at least a quicker route, through this final level before the end of Dreamweavers, where we're going to have that check for 6,000 gems. So we just need enough to get to 6,000 at this point. We need 300 and 400... 344. 300 and 404 and 5 million. Exactly. So yeah, so like these gems right here, you can absolutely skip if you have a little bit more on your gem count leading up to this point. And then here is some really tough execution. I'm only going to raise one part of this platform. Oh, can I catch it? Can I get the recovery? Quickly. Oh, you can hear him ringing. I barely got away in time. That jump is not easy either. That ledge is not lenient. Look at all these very valuable gems here. Yellows, blues, purples. These are the kind of gems we like. And then the final boss before Nasty Nork of the game. This is Jock. Jock in the Bach, if you will. The homie. The stuff of nightmares. If you play this game a lot as a kid, this is definitely one of the nightmare, like early PS1 type enemies here. Same thing with those beetles in High Caves, or spiders as we affectionately call them. Before there was the beetles, there were the beetles in High Caves. We got 348 here, which should be plenty enough to get us over to the 6,000 mark as we talk to this balloonist right here. And now, my friends, this is where the run gets interesting. Remember how I was telling you about that trick I implemented into the run about a year ago that totally broke open the world record? Well, we're about to go do it right now. This trick is called Rat Proxy. And what I have to do is follow behind a rat as it goes into a corner, squeeze between the rat and the corner, launch up on top of a level, and then fly to the final level through the top of this purple dragon head there's no collision on. So, I'll explain that one more time as I do it, but let's see here. This rat is in a weird position. Can I get him into the corner is what I'm hoping for. That corner right where the portal is. Oh, almost. You can see I'm just barely trying to squeeze in there. That rat got in there before I did, so I was not able to squeeze that time. But I get to try this. In order to make my 45-minute estimate, I get to try this for another couple minutes here. So we're going to see if we can get it. I'll give it a few death abuses. But again, what I'm trying to do is get squeezed between the rat and the corner, get bounced up on top of this Nork Cove portal, and then fly directly to the top, through the top of the nasty Nork portal. Really difficult trick, and sometimes the rat just doesn't even give you good RNG like that with his movement, so you just got to take the death abuse or risk waiting there for the rat to do multiple cycles. Now, I do like this position. See what he does. Oh, and then he gave me bad RNG. See how cutthroat it is? Playing this game at a high level.
A real quick donation?
Yeah, go ahead. I have plenty of time.
All right, so I definitely wanted to get this in while you were doing this. So we have a $10 donation from Stupid Puff Sheep again saying, this one's for a good rat proxy.
Yes, thank you, Puff Sheep.
And then we also have a $25.69 donation for Oxalati, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced that. Saying, gotta donate during the Yo Man's runs. Good luck toasting that good Nork.
Good Nork.
So thank you so much to everybody who has donated. I would like to point out that we are at $640.69. So you know what? A pretty nice number we got going on there. But I definitely think we can shoot that number way up.
Oh yeah. Okay, I have about a minute, actually 2 minutes worth of execution left here. Guys, now would be a great time to throw in a donation, spread some hype, or at least spam an emote in the chat. Please, I need your thoughts and prayers here. It's my only hope at getting this rat. If we don't get it, it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna do these 2 levels here normally, but I still got a chance at, can I get it? Oh, almost. You can see I almost got that little bounce that I was looking for there, but not quite. That rat just getting right into that corner before I do. Few more tries though, few more tries. Luckily, I was on a pretty decent pace actually leading up to this, so we have plenty of time to work on it before estimate. I'll give him a chance here. I shouldn't be giving this rat a chance, but I will. I love him too much. Oh, no.
Oh man, you asked a lot of chat and they are delivering. I am seeing all of that hype, you know, just emote spam. And then we also have a $20 donation from Damon and Maddox saying, Dayo, it's your cousin.
Yes.
Take me bowling.
That was the best impression of him ever, by the way. Just so you know, you were spot on. I'll go bowling with you, Damon. I'm gonna be in the lake this summer. I'll see you, Damon. We're gonna go bowling, bro. We're gonna go bowling. All right, a few more attempts here before we're done, guys. Don't stop hyping. Even if I do fail it, don't stop hyping. Okay, no. We're getting there. We're getting there. And again, this trick was found back in 2014 by Tuval, and it wasn't implemented into runs until basically me, and then I don't even do runs of this anymore. So it's gone back to being obscure. And why does anyone do this in runs? And this category is so hard, etc. But there's actually a few different endgame skips you can do here, and Rat Proxy isn't your only option. As well as you can just get a good time in this game by doing the 2 levels normally. It's all good. So we just hit the 41:30 second mark. So I'm just going to do these 2 levels normally at this point. But you can see just how cutthroat it would be like on a world record run to get that trick first try, bouncing on top of the level and stuff, and saving between doing the next fastest strat. That saves about 40 seconds, and compared to just doing these 2 levels normally, it saves about a minute and a half to get that trick first try. So I am lucky enough to have gotten that in a run. Actually, twice in one day I've gotten that. Kind of a miracle. So I did a few little flops right there in order to get over the level geometry, and now we're heading to the exit level. We need to go through the return home vortex at the end of the level. See, we don't need gems anymore per se, but we do need to get through the return home vortex. So The only way this dragon head you see right here, the orange one, opens is if I go through the return home vortex. Sorry if the gameplay looks a little choppy. I think my OBS is showing a little bit of choppiness right there. Anyways, so we're just going to try to get to the return home vortex as quickly as possible here. And interestingly, we get to borrow some strats from the vortex speedrun that I was mentioning earlier. So we'll see, first of all, if I can get a proxy here. Oh, no. See, again, I'm trying to get squeezed between enemies and walls in order to get bounces. I have not gotten super lucky on this run. I don't think I've even gotten a single proxy yet in this run, which is kind of hilarious. But let's see if I can get this cool supercharged strat here. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Oh my god. Legendary, dude. Legendary. That jump is so hard. You can tell you need to get the glide on that side of the mountain there in order to make that. That was legendary. I think that's my first time doing that exact strat. First try in a run. So hey, even though we didn't get the rat, we got a pretty cool backup. So I can't really be too mad. But now we're on the final level. Once we chase Nasty through this obstacle course, nastical course, then it's going to be time after that. We got to get a couple quick kills on these thieves and then chase him through his little course here. This is, you could definitely tell by this boss fight that the game was totally rushed to release, and it's like, you just follow him. He's totally invincible at this part, so you cannot hit him. But what you can do is influence his speed by getting close to him. Ideally, we want to be directly ahead of him so that he's pushing us. So we're going to see if we can do that here. Whoa. I bonked, so that's definitely not happening. That's okay. It only like improves your time by like maybe a second if you get perfect manipulation on his speed here. And there's a quick hit before he hits the platform. I kind of got it, kind of didn't. You can hit him a little bit before he hits the platform there. Look at him jump, dude. LeBron! Go for the three-point, go for the slam dunk in the lava. And we are getting ready for time here. Get ready. And time. GG's. Everyone type GG. Right now. Do it. Where's my, Normally I have like a little NES zapper. Type GG. Imagine I'm holding it. But yeah, that's Spyro the Dragon right there. Any percent. 44 minutes, 36 seconds. Well within our 45-minute estimate, so I'm happy with that. I hope you guys had a good time watching this run. Hopefully someone who is new to this run learned something or is kind of interested by Spyro speedrunning now. I highly recommend once again that you follow these games on Twitch, start following some of these runners, and check out this game on speedrun.com and hop in the Discord if you are curious about it. And once again, my name is Dayoman, and that is going to be it for me today. Follow me on Twitch and follow me on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for having me on this amazing marathon. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. That run really just flew by. Thank you so much. GG, by the way, that was an awesome run. It really was. All right, so we are going to take a little quick break just, so we can set up our next amazing runner. Next, we have Kaze and the Wild Mask, played by Minfin. So definitely stick around and you know what? Hang out a little bit.
Yep, hype up. Hype up in the chat. More runs. It's going to be a fun marathon, guys, so stick around.